Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Krishna Hare Hare. Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Harinam नाम संकीर्तन की जय, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, निताय गौर हरि प्रेमानंद। Prabhuji, can you give me my bag? Actually, I forgot my specs inside. Hare Krishna, welcome once again for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Okay, this is now going to be a Krishna Lila series. And first of all, I would like to thank actually Kunjesh Prabhuji, Sadan Prabhuji, and all the devotees actually. I don't really have any qualification to speak, but they have given me such a beautiful opportunity to speak something about the Lord. Right? And I consider it my fortune that I am able to serve Lord Krishna, the Guru Parampara, the Acharyas, and all the devotees in this way. So once again, if I make some mistakes, please consider this to be my fault. Okay, if you are not able to understand something, it's completely my fault. And if you are able to appreciate something or understand something, it's all because of my Guru and the Acharya. Okay, so let's all chant the Mangalacharan prayers. Everyone. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुः उन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंगायते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वर। Okay, today we are going to discuss a beautiful Leela of Lord Krishna. Anyone knows what's the Leela that we are going to discuss today? Yeah, Brahma Vimohana Leela Hari. Prabhuji, if it's possible, can we keep one mic? I am just going to ask questions in between so that people don't fall asleep. As, right? So if you can keep one mic, you can, yes. Okay, very soon we are going to have one beautiful festival coming up in a month's time, almost in a month's time, right? What's the festival? So this is the right time to prepare our consciousness to understand all the different leelas of the Lord, right? So that at the end point, the time of your death, right, you'll be able to remember at least one of those leelas, right? That's the goal, eventual goal, right? Remember at least one leela so that we can enter that pastime of the Lord, right? So, Prabhuji, we have the mic? Yes. So we started with this Krishna Katha series last week, right? So raise your hands, okay? Don't answer directly. We actually discussed about two asuras that were vanquished by the Lord last week. So what were the two asuras? Okay, Prabhuji, you can give Prabhuji.
So we discussed about Bakasura and Aghasura.
Yes, perfect. Haribol. So we discussed about Bakasur and Aghasur. So what happened after this was basically there was a great commotion everywhere. So once Lord Krishna, he is a 6-year-old boy right now. He has killed this Aghasur, the python demon, and Bakasur, the crane or stork demon, right? And everywhere in all the three worlds, right, the whole celebration was going on. There was a lot of commotion. People, like all the devatas, they were playing bugles, right? There a lot of festivities going on, and the sound was so much that in Brahma Loka, Lord Brahma, he heard this commotion, and then he started wondering what's happening, right? There is something that is happening, and then he comes to know from the other, like different devtas, right, that there is a 6-year-old boy who was actually he's in Vrindavan, and he has killed these two big demons called Akhasur and Bakasur. So now Brahma has this question: is this really possible? A 6-year-old boy, right? Is there any chance? Then he thinks, let me go and see, right? I want to verify it myself. And sometimes we have this tendency, right? We don't really trust our mentors when they say that, okay, you do this, then we'll say, no, no, let me try this and see first, right? I'll try this and see. So yes, so Brahma decided, okay, I want to test. I want to test if this is true, that Lord Krishna is the real supreme personality of Godhead, right, who has come to this world, and he has killed this Bakasur and Aghasur. So he gets on his swan. So everyone knows, right? The Vahana of Lord Brahma is the beautiful white swan, right? And he gets on his swan, and then he starts descending towards earth. So now at the same time, what happens here in Vrindavan, right? Srila Prabhupada, he explains it in the purport. So whenever these kids, right, the cowherd boys, they actually go to the forest. They are raising the calves at that point of time. They are small, right? So they are given calves to herd. So they take all these calves, and they get so engrossed in playing that they forget that it's lunch time now, prasadam time. So what does Yogmaya do? The Yogmaya, what she does is she gets one asura at that time, right, to Krishna, for Krishna to kill, right? And the moment Krishna kills that asura, all the friends, they remember, oh, now we are hungry. Okay, we have to take prasad now, right? So similarly, what happened now that Krishna has killed Aghasur and Bakasur, right? So Krishna, he proposes a plan. He says, see, this banks of Yamuna, it's so beautiful, right? There are cold winds, right? Beautiful winds coming from the beautiful desire trees of Vrindavan, right? The birds are chirping so nicely, right? There's this beautiful wind breeze that is taking the fragrance of the lotuses that are in this Yamuna river, and it is like flowing here. So why not? Let's all start like make our picnic here, right? We all sit here and we'll have our lunches, like lunch together. So then, of course, all the kids agree. The Krishna is saying, yes, proposal accepted. We'll have prasadna. And one learning. So today, the whole class will be more about like when we hear this katha, right? What lessons we learn from this also. So anyone knows how all the cowherd boys they sit when they are having prasadam? Anyone can guess? Yes, in concentrated circle, right? They keep Krishna in the center, and they sit in a concentrated circle, like circle after circle after circle after circle, right? And Krishna is sitting like this, and all the Gwalwalas are sitting like that. What is Krishna doing next, right? he takes out his tiffin box, that Mother Yashoda, and similarly all lotus leaf. If they think, oh, this is amazing, right? This dish is amazing. What they will do? They will remove it from their mouth and put it in Krishna's mouth. And similarly, Krishna is also doing the same thing, right? He eats something, he says, oh, Yashoda Maya, this is amazing, right? This, she had made a nice, very nice dish. Okay, let me feed it to my friends. Right? So he will take it out from his mouth and start feeding. In fact, some of the acharyas, they were saying, everyone knows there is a friend called Madhu Mangal, right? Krishna's friend. And he actually has this very famous buttermilk that his mother makes, right? So, and he actually shows, he internally wants Krishna to have it, but externally he shows that I don't want to share it with anyone because this buttermilk is made for my mother. I will have it, right? And the moment the prasadam starts, right, immediately starts drinking it, right? So that before anyone like puts their hand on it, I'll finish it. And then when Krishna sees this, he will grab it, right? And he'll try to like grab it from his hand and try to drink that buttermilk, right? And Badhu Mangal is not giving it. And he's just pouring everything in his mouth. Like he can finish it at one time. And everything is spilling out of his mouth, right? And Krishna is drinking, right? Whatever is spilling out from his mouth, Krishna is drinking. So the acharyas describe this is such a beautiful pastime that's happening. And one important lesson, right, for us is if the community always keeps Krishna in the center, right, then that community is guaranteed protection and love from Krishna, always. So there is always and always. If the community always keeps Krishna in the center of their life, similarly, Krishna will always give protection to all the devotees, right, who have kept him in the center, right? Always a protection and always love, right? So now we have to think there is another understanding here also, right? In material condition, we are all in material condition right now. So what do we think? We think that we are the heroes of our own life. So everyone in their mind, there is a movie going on. Everyone is part of that movie, and I am the hero of that movie. Right? Everyone should like please me. So everyone is thinking like that. Right? And completely opposite of this is the thought of the Brijvasis. What is the mentality of the Brijvasis? The mentality of Brijvasis, Krishna is the center of all our lives, right? He is the center of all our lives, and not just of our lives. He is the center of our prasadam also, right? If we are having prasadam, Krishna should be in the center. He will have first prasadam, and then we'll all have. So now think about the conundrum. At this point of time, Brahma is coming from the like Satyaloka, right, where he stays. He comes and sees this is Parabrahman. This is the supreme personality of Godhead. He's fighting with his friend to have something, and he's giving his juta to everyone, and everyone juta he is accepting. Nobody is offering prasadam with the bell. Nobody is closing the curtain. Nothing is happening. How is this possible? Right? And he is thinking, now he is questioning everything. Right? He starts thinking, is this the supreme personality of Godhead? Really? Is this a person who actually killed Agasur and Bakasur? Right? These kids, they are actually with him. They are not even Brahmanas, right? They are Vaishyas, right? What activity they are doing? They are just herding the cows, right? No puja, no yajna, nothing, right? And they are so simple, right? Simple and innocent. So one learning again from here. So this will be lot of learnings in this story. Okay. So remember, I'll ask. There will be a quiz in the end. So one learning here, the difference between Vrindavan and all other dhams, right? What are the other dhams? Can someone tell me what are the other dhams of Krishna other than Vrindavan? Dwarka, Ayodhya is there, right? So many dhams. So what is the main difference between this Vrindavan and the other dhams is, in Vrindavan, the basic characteristic of Vrindavan is simplicity, innocence, and sweetness, right? You will see that everything is like involved around these three: simplicity, innocence, and sweetness. In other dhams, if you see, it is more of grandeur, right? Grandeur and magnanimity. Krishna is supposed to be the king, right? Everyone is supposed to be their servant. There will be different Lakshmis who will be coming and serving the Lord, right? That's a difference. That's a big difference, right? In Vrindavan, Krishna, if you see Krishna also, he is also very sweet. So, you know what Krishna wears in his foot while like roaming around in Vrindavan? Nothing. He's barefoot, right? Krishna is roaming around in Vrindavan barefoot. And there is a reason for that also. Why? Because once what happens is Yashoda Maya, she actually tries to like put a footwear on Krishna's feet, right? Then Krishna says, okay, if I am wearing footwear, I want all my 9 lakh cows to wear footwear. Are they wearing footwear? Like, no. So then if they are not wearing footwear, I will also not wear footwear. So that is the, like, how do you say, reciprocation of Krishna in Vrindavan. And even the cows, right? When they know Krishna is actually coming with us, what they used to do whenever they used to walk, right? And they used to walk on a rocky path, they used to beat their hoofs on those rocks, right? And they used to break all those rocks into very soft sand. So if anyone has been, how many of y'all have been to Vrindavan here? Right? So if you all have been to Vrindavan, you have seen the sand there. It's not grainy, it's very, very soft, right? That is because Krishna's footprints are there everywhere, right? And because of this, what happens? Because of Krishna's footprint, that Vrindavan becomes more glorious. It's actually an ornament for Vrindavan, right? You see, like Krishna's footprints everywhere in Vrindavan. So that becomes an ornament for Vrindavan. And similarly, this ornament of Vrindavan is an ornament for the entire earth, right? If you think about it, this is the best spot in the world to be in, right? Vrindavan, because Krishna is there, all the cows are there, all the covered boys, all the covered girls, Mother Yashoda, Nanda Baba, everyone is there. And they are all, their only goal of service is Lord Krishna. So now what happens is, Brahma, for a moment, he could not actually appreciate this fact, right? So he was thinking that I should actually test Krishna, right? Means I don't know. I can't be sure if this means this activity does not match that of a supreme personality of Godhead, right? I want to really test and see if he is really Krishna. If Krishna is the real supreme personality of Godhead. It is actually the acharyas mention actually. It is like the firefly, right? You have seen firefly, the firefly. It decides that I want to test the temperature of the sun, right? I also give light. What is so great in this light? Let me see the temperature of this sun, how hot it is. So he forgets he is one of the he actually forgets that he is the one who actually went with all the Devi Devatas to the Shir Sagar. Everyone knows, right? At the start, when all the Rakshasas and the demons, right? Specifically, they started coming on this earth. Then Brahma, there is a shloka, right? Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Martastunvanti Divyai, right? It says Yam Brahma Varun Rudra Marut, right? All of them, they actually led by Brahma, right? They go to the Shir Sagar, right? And they pray to Lord Vishnu that Lord Vishnu, please come, right? Please come and protect us, right? This Brahma, the same Brahma who is actually questioning the godhead of Lord Krishna, he is the one who actually went and prayed, right, for Lord Krishna to come, Lord Krishna to descend. So one important lesson here, right? We should never be overconfident with our own powers, right? We should never be overconfident with our own powers and experiences because however big devotee you are, right? However, how much ever you preaching you might have done, right? Maya is stronger, right? One thing we have to understand, Maya is strong. In fact, I actually was thinking about this in the morning today, right? So I remember one pastime with my Guru Maharaj also. So one of the disciples during the Tirubhav Utsav, he was actually giving this beautiful pastime of Guru Maharaj. Sometimes you actually become overconfident, right? I know my Guru Maharaj. I know what he wants exactly, right? So what happened was, Guru Maharaj had that habit of watching Mangalarti in multiple places. As in, if he is in Mumbai, he would like to see from Mayapur and Vrindavan as well, live. So at that point of time, actually the TV had broken down for Guru Maharaj, and one of the devotees, he asked the other disciples that, oh, can we get a TV for Guru Maharaj? Right, Prabhuji, I think knows the story, right? So then the devotee becomes very happy. Oh, TV, okay, I'll get a TV, right? So he got a big TV, like I don't know, some 50-inch TV or something like that. He got. So now, okay, then Guru Maharaj, he said, oh, he asked, Guru Maharaj basically asked, oh, somebody got a TV, right? That's very nice. Thank you so much, right? So now after some time, right, that same devotee, he thought, this 50 inch is small, right? Let me get a 70-inch curved TV for Guru Maharaj, right? Because I know what can please him, right? And then, so Guru Maharaj generally doesn't like anything happening in his room, right, when he is there. So what they do is when Guru Maharaj is out of the house, they quietly come, they change all the TV, got that big skirt TV there, and then they left, right? And the next time when Guru Maharaj came in, he got shocked. He's like, "What is this?" Right? I wanted a TV just to watch the Mangalarti in Vrindavan and Mayapur. I didn't want to enjoy it myself. Right? Who got this TV? And he called those people who got the TV. He chastised them nicely. Like, who asked you to spend so much money in getting this TV? Like, immediately take it out, return it. I don't want this TV. And so they take it out and get it back. So that's why actually I remembered this pastime where it said, right, that one should not be overconfident, right? Confidence is good. Having confidence in your bhakti, that you are doing your devotional service nicely, that confidence is good. But sometimes that confidence leads to overconfidence also. Saying that, oh, I am doing bhakti so from so long, I am chanting 16 rounds from so long. Now I have to go back home, back to Godhead, right? I don't care. I serve someone. I care. I respect someone. Now that I have done so much, right? I am eligible to go back home, back to Godhead. No, that's not how actually going back to Godhead works. Okay. So this is something that we have to learn from here, right? If Maya can bewilder Lord Brahma, who is Lord Brahma? He's the first person of this universe, right? He's like there is no one else in this universe that person is the first person, and he is the one who created everything. If Maya can bewilder Brahma, then what are we, right, in comparison to Maya? So that's something we have to understand now. But Brahma, he is bewildered thoroughly. He decides, okay, let me test let me test Krishna, right? His really supreme personality of God. So what is happening right now? The Gopas, they are having this nice prasadam kaleva, sitting with everyone, right? They are having nice prasadam, and they let their calves graze nearby. Near the, it's not inside the forest. It's just outside the forest. The cows are grazing. Cows were grazing, and immediately the covered boys, right? They see the calves are gone. Right now they are worried. What happened to those calves? Right? They should not go deep inside the forest. Right? There will be wild animals there. Right? Somebody has to take care of them. So immediately when this happened, right? Krishna said, "You don't worry, don't worry. You all enjoy your food. I will go. I'll go have a look. Right? I'll get those calves back quickly." Right? Another lesson to learn here, that when devotees they get anxious, Krishna is the one who will take care of his anxiety, of their anxiety, right? So that the devotees can be peaceful. So now Krishna, he gets up. He's actually having, he has not finished his prasad, okay? So he's just having, in between only, he gets up. He has all his curd rice and pickle in his hand. And he's taking, just going there. He'll say, I'll just quickly search the scarves and I'll come back. Right? So now he's going inside, right? Inside the forest. Now, the big word of bewilderment, it's called, right? Bewilderment of Lord Brahma. Right? Can someone give me the definition of the word bewilderment? What is the meaning of the word bewilder? In context to Krishna consciousness. Okay, so what does the word bewilder in Krishna consciousness, right? Bewildered of Lord Krishna would mean. Anyone would like to try? It's not. I don't want a correct answer or perfect answer. What do you all think bewilderment means? Confusion. Yes. Anyone else wants to try? What does bewilder? Illusion. Yes. So, what is bewilderment? Again, the acharyas they define what is the meaning of bewilderment. We can't believe Krishna can have sweet, loving exchanges with our devotees. If you believe that Krishna cannot have sweet, loving exchange with the devotees, that is bewilderment. Right? Think about it. Krishna is simple and accessible. You have to understand. See, we understand this. We have to understand this fact. Like Kartikeya Prabhu has mentioned it so many times in his Gita course. See, the relationship with Krishna is personal, right? Every person here sitting here has a personal relation, personal connection with Lord Krishna. It's not like, oh, there will be third person who will be connecting. Of course, Guru is there who will actually get you up to that point. But finally, it's your job to come closer to Krishna. It's because it's your relationship with Krishna, right? So bewilderment is not understanding that Krishna can have such sweet exchanges. Krishna is so great that he can make forget his devotees that he is God. That is what happening here, right? In Vrindavan, all the gopis or the gopas, right? They don't really believe Krishna is God. What they believe? They believe Krishna is my friend. Krishna is my son, right? That's the only thing they will believe, right? So he does not. And the second thing, this was the first point, okay? What was the first point? Yeah, that Krishna cannot have the sweet exchanges with his devotees, right? That is the first point. That is bewilderment. I'm just giving the definition of bewilderment, right? The first point is Krishna cannot have the sweet exchanges with his devotee, and the second point is that Krishna cannot kill the demons, right? So the demons also actually represent the anarthas within each of us, right? So Brahma could not believe these two things. The first one, that he killed, Krishna killed Agasur. Krishna has killed this demon, right? And the second thing is that he could not believe that he could have deep, intense, intimate, loving exchanges with his coward boyfriends. So what lesson do we learn from here? Right? Sometimes sadhakas, we are all sadhakas, right? We are doing sadhana bhakti here right now. Sometimes the people come and say, right, अरे प्रभु जी मेरे में तो इतने अनर्थ है कोई इससे हमें पार नहीं लगा सकता, right? So you have to understand that however great your anarthas are, right, however big it is, however difficult anarthas are, or however powerful your anarthas are, Krishna is more powerful, right? Krishna can immediately remove all the anarthas from your life, right? And the second question is, however intense, okay, similarly, however intense our shortcomings are, right, in our life, everyone has some shortcomings. So however intense our shortcomings are, Krishna has the ability to clear the shortcomings, right? So Krishna's name itself is sufficient, right? Krishna's name is itself sufficient to clear all these things. Krishna also doesn't have to come himself, right? The second shloka from Shikshashtakam, what does Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Anyone can say that shloka on the mic? Let's say it on the mic. Mataji, you want to try? Yes, Murari Mataji, you can give it to Murari Mataji. Haribu, thank you, Mataji. Nam Akari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. What does that mean? The name of the Lord has all the powers in the world. You don't have to think that, oh, Krishna has to come. Krishna's name is enough. Krishna's name is enough to deliver a person. What greater thing it can be, right? To deliver a person out of this material world just by taking one person's name, right? So Krishna's name has all the power, right? But Brahma could not believe this, right? He wanted to test Krishna. So that's why he stole all his calves. Now, to add to Brahma's bewilderment, what is happening is Krishna, when he's going around the forest, right, he also looks confused. Externally, of course, he's looking confused. He's also searching for all the calves. Where are the calves? What will happen? My friends are waiting for me. I have to quickly find the calves. I have to go back. They are waiting. The breakfast is happening there right now. Right? I have got up from between. Right? So he is also confused. Externally, he's showing that he is confused. And what is happening with Brahma right now? Brahma is thinking, aha, he is not the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, I knew he cannot be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There is something wrong here, right? So, again, one more lesson here, right? So, sometimes it is, we cannot appreciate the activities of the great souls, right? Sometimes you might think, why is this person doing like this? Right? But at that point of time, we have to remember the glories of that person, right? That person is not an ordinary. Specifically, when you see Srila Prabhupada, so in fact, during his preaching time also, when he was there, when he was existing in this material world, right? Whenever he used to give, there were always some people who used to think, all right, why is he saying like this? But when it goes through, right, that person becomes a devotee and that preaching has spread all over the world. Sometimes you say, like, you go and preach in Pakistan, right? So someone, for a person, right, externally it might say, why is he sending to that Naraka or something like that, so difficult place? right? But then you see now, right? Once the time has passed, preaching is happening. The devotees are there in Pakistan also, right? In different countries, right? One more story actually we were discussing yesterday, right? If Srila Prabhupada, it was in Bhurijan Prabhuji's lecture, he was saying that in Panama during that time there was a lot of poverty, right? And the devotees they actually wrote to Srila Prabhupada that there is a lot of poverty here, but we are trying to build a temple. So then Srila Prabhupada he replied back saying, the people there are so poor, right? If you tell them Krishna consciousness, they will not understand, right? So what your job is? Your job is right now to feed them. Brahma got bewildered. First one was, how can this young boy, right, 6-year-old boy, kill Agasur and Bakasur, right? Second bewilderment he had was, how can this boy, how can the supreme personality of Godhead have such sweet exchanges with his friends, right? If he is a supreme personality of Godhead, it should not have be like this, right? Now the third level of confusion was when Brahma took all the calves and he saw Krishna is bewildered. He's confused. What happened to all my calves? Right? Fourth level of bewilderment is when Brahma took all the covered boys also. Right? Now Krishna is more confused. Right? That and he is actually externally Krishna is looking confused, and Brahma is okay. Yeah, I am successful. I am getting like I am successful in my effort. Right? And it is actually said that there is a one lesson here that we have to remember. See, be it a devata or a demon, be it a devotee or a person who is an external person, one should never think himself to be more intelligent than Krishna, right? Because however intelligent you are, Krishna is more intelligent than you. One thing we have to understand. So this is a lesson because it said, right, the same shloka that we were saying, Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra, right? The ending line is Yasyantam Sura Asura Gana Devaya Tasmai Namaha. Means Sur, Asur, anyone is there, everyone comes under and falls at the feet of Lord Krishna. That's the only way, right? So now after this 4-5 level of bewilderment, Brahma has returned, and now actually the Acharyas they again say there is one more pastime in between that is going on. See, okay, show of hands. Tell me, do you really think Brahma can kidnap all the calves and covered boys? Yes. How many are saying yes? Okay, how many are saying no? No, why no? Why can't covered Brahma kidnap all the covered boys and calves? Yes, without Krishna's permission, you can't do anything. So it is actually said. See, even in Ramayana, when we see right, when Ravana he tried to forcefully take Sita, right? What happened? Right? Was he able to take Sita? No, right? He got that Maya Sita, right? The original Sita was somewhere else. So similarly, if you are trying to take something of Krishna's property, right, you will never be successful because Krishna might give you some illusion that you have done something, but actually Krishna will never give, right? So similarly, the covered boys and all the calves, the actual ones, Krishna himself hid it. He hid them in one place, and this Brahma, he took all these illusion calves and covered boys, and he thought that, oh, now I have actually I am successful. I was able to take all these calves and covered boys. Now, basically, at the start of this Brahma Vimohana Lila, right, there are three sets of covered boys and calves. One, what is the first set? The original ones, right? The second set is the one that Brahma thinks that he has kidnapped, and third one is Krishna expanding into all the covered boys and right. So that's how. And now Krishna, accompanied with all these covered boys, all the calves, right? He enters Vrindavan at the time of dusk. So now there is one parallel story also going on. What happens is when Krishna he takes birth, right? When he came to Vrindavan, right at the start, all the gopis of Vrindavan, they actually used to spend more time in Nand Baba and Yashoda Maya's house than their own house, right? Because they you always used to think, oh, see Krishna, he's doing now this, Yashoda Maya is taking care of this, right? Something is happening, right? And again, there is no enemy here, right? They had a genuine desire that seeing they used to say they used to complain about Krishna also, right? Oh, Krishna now has broken the butter pot, right? He now Yashoda Maya is going to punish him, right? She's running behind him with a stick, right? Now he's going to get punishment. So, and in their heart, they had a deep desire. I wish this same thing could happen with us also, right? So that was their deep desire without any enemy. right? So there is a lesson here to be learned that see, if Krishna does not like if the devotees have enemy between them. So if one devotee is progressing very nicely, right, and the other devotee becomes envious of that person, right, envious of that devotee, Krishna does not like it. But if the devotee genuinely appreciates, right, he becomes really happy. Oh, that person is making so nice advancement in bhakti, right? Then what happens? Krishna bestows the same opportunity and the same success to this devotee also. So that is what we learn from this, right? So all the Vatsalya gopis of Vrindavan, they had genuine appreciation for Yashoda Maya, and they had a sincere desire, right? Sincere desire to serve the Lord. And Krishna had noted this desire. So in this way, if you see, Brahma did a service, right? Because all the gopis, right, all the motherly gopis, they had this deep desire that, oh, wish Krishna could have been our child, right? If he would have come with us, right, I would have done this. Now Krishna gave them that opportunity, right? Everyone got an opportunity to serve Krishna directly. And there is another, how do you say, flip side to this also. Krishna also, say, Brahma also did one disservice. What did he do? What was the disservice he did? Yeah, took away the devotees, right? His friends, covered boys. He separated from Krishna, right? So that's the disservice he did. So now, okay, Krishna's pastimes. There's a little bit of philosophy. We'll like go through like 5-10 minutes. So Krishna's pastimes are basically divided into three parts. Basically, Vrindavan pastimes. What are those three parts? The three parts are Kaumar Lila, Paugand Lila, and Kishore Lila. Right? Vrindavan pastimes. And how many years does each of these Leela last? So Kamar, yes, somebody said, right, 5 years, right? Kamar Leela is 0 to 5, right from the birth to 5 years, and Paugand Leela is 6 to 10, and Kishore Leela is 11 to 15. And after that, once Krishna moves to the Yavan Leela, right, youthhood, Krishna never gets old, right? Krishna, you might have heard, Krishna is always sweet 16. He'll always, even if he's 20-year old, 50 years old, 120 years old, he will always look sweet 16. Right? So he never moves out after that. So now each of this sections, right? Say for example, Kaumar Leela. So Kaumar Leela is specifically meant for the motherly gopis of Vrindavan, motherly gopis and the fatherly gopas of Vrindavan. So the Leela, the bhav, right, that is predominant during that time is Vatsalya bhav, right? Vatsalya bhav 0 to 5 years. From 6 to 10 years, what will be the bhav that is predominant? It will be Sakhya, right? Because now Krishna has little grown up, he'll go out with his friends, he will try, like they'll all do some masti, right? They'll have some fun, right? And 11 to 15, it's divided for Madhurya Leela, right? Specifically with the young gopis when has Krishna has this beautiful interaction. Now, what happened right now, right? This section that is going on right now is the Paugand Leela, right? 6 to 10 years. And Lord Brahma, he gave an opportunity, right, in this section to have 1 year of Vatsalya Leela, right? Because now Krishna is there in everyone's house and everyone can enjoy that Vatsalya Bhav with Lord Krishna directly, right? Nobody has to go to Nanda Baba's house. And that is what happens the next time, right? So now once Krishna, he entered the house and entered the goshalas of all the cows, right? Cows and house, right, of the devotees, right? Now there is a marked change in everyone's behavior. So now what's happening, right? For this 1 year, everyone started loving their own child more, right? Till the time, right, it had never happened because everyone's love was only one, Krishna, that is there in Nand Baba and Yashoda Maya's house, right? But suddenly this changed, right? Now everyone has started to love their own child more, right? And because, of course, this is because their child is not their own child, it's actually Krishna who has entered in their house. So the lesson that we learn here is in the purest state of consciousness, right? Every being loves Krishna more than themselves. Forget anyone else. Even from themselves, more than themselves, Krishna, everyone loves Krishna. And only in the impure state, right, impure state of consciousness, we have this hankering for other things, be it mobile phone or something else, right, something material. Only that happens only in the impure state of consciousness. In the purest state of Okay, now that is from Krishna's side, right? From the soul side, in the purest state of consciousness, right? A devotee can enjoy the maximum love with Krishna, right? That's only possible if it is the purest state of like consciousness. But regardless of your consciousness is pure or not, Krishna will always love you more than anyone else, right? We have to understand that. I hope I made sense like here, right? See, you might be in a good consciousness, bad consciousness, does not matter. Krishna is the only person who will love you forever, right? Again, this was some discussion we had yesterday, right? Say for example, you have one bestest friend, not just bestest, right, in one city, right? And you go there and you say that, oh my friend, I have come here for the first time, right? Can you take me somewhere? The friend will say, yes, I will take you, right? Now after some time you say, okay, now I have to go back home to this city, right? Will you come back with me? You are my friend, right? You have to come back with me. Like, no, why? Means, of course, I am your best friend, but I will not come back to your place, right? I have to stay here, right? Even if that case happens, think about it that your friend came back to your house. Now, if you say, oh, actually, now I'm actually very sick and I'm going to die, will you die with me? Think about it. No friend will have like be in that level, right? But think about Krishna, right? Krishna is there with you if you are a human. Krishna is there with you if you are a dog. Krishna is there if you are a snake. Krishna is there with you even if you are a worm in the stool. Think about it. Who is a better friend than Krishna for you? Is there any other friend who will be there with you no matter what you do, no matter whatever the consequences because of which you had to take any birth in your any damn life, right? As an animal, right? But Krishna will be there with you. This proves, right? Krishna is your best friend. There cannot be any other friend that who is better than Krishna, right? So this is actually the Brijvasi's consciousness. That what is Brijvasi's consciousness? It is pure consciousness that they don't know Krishna as God, right? They don't really know. Do Brijvasis believe that Krishna is God? But their love to Krishna is more than anyone could have love to a God, right? Say, for example, you think that that person is a God, and how much ever love you have, that love is not comparable to any Brajvasi's love to Krishna, right? A Brajvasi will ever, forever love Krishna more than anyone else. We probably, if we have some time, we'll actually go to what extents a Brajvasi can go, right? So here, one philosophical explanation is also given, right? In the purest consciousness, love of God does not depend on knowledge of God. It is so natural, right? Actually, Prahlad Maharaj, he says in 7th canto, he says, the way a magnet attracts the iron particles, right? Similarly, Krishna attracts the pure consciousness of the devotee. A devotee with a pure consciousness, Krishna will automatically attract. Nobody has to learn something about them. Automatically, if you are in pure consciousness, you will love Krishna. That's possible. And prema is not dependent on jnana, right? Prema can never be dependent on jnana. But in conditioned state, you have to have little bit jnana for triggering that prema. So for example, you have to start the car, right? Car in the normal state, when it is running, you don't have to do anything. But at the start, you have to give an ignition, right? It has to start, right? That start required is that jnana that you should have, right? But if that jnana does not translate into prema, right, then that jnana is incomplete. I hope I'm making sense. It's a little bit philosophical, but jnana should lead. The culmination of jnana should lead to prema. If it does not lead to prema, then that jnana is incomplete. Okay? So, Krishna prema is natural to the soul, right? And Brijvasis, they are naturally, their state of consciousness is completely pure. And they already had infinite love for Krishna. Even before Krishna came as a covered boy or the calf, right, in their house, they already they had infinite love for Krishna. And just because Krishna has come, their infinite has become double, right? Their love has become more, which is not possible mathematically, but you can see it in Brajavasis, right? It has become more, that infinite has become more, right? So now 1 year has passed, okay? So after all this has happened, that Krishna has expanded himself in different gopis, Gopa, Balbalas and the covered boy, calves, right? And now you generally see this, right? If somebody has seen a cow, somebody has a cow at home. So the cow, when it gives birth to a calf, right? It naturally has that more affection towards that small baby calf, right? But what people were seeing in Vrindavan, that even when the cow during that 1 year they gave birth to a small baby calf, right? They were actually more attached to the elder calf than their younger calf, right? Naturally, that because that is Krishna, right? The elder calf is Krishna, right? In fact, devotees love. Again, a lesson here. I'll probably go a little fast. I'm really sorry, Prabhu. I'll go a little fast. Okay. So, a devotee's love to one another is not just based on body, right? It is based on the fact that both of them love Krishna more, right? It is like a devotee loves another devotee because both of them love Krishna, right? That is the connection between the devotees, right? Kunti Maharani, she actually says these prayers, right? Atha Vishveshwar Vishwatman Vishwamurti Swakeshu me Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Dridam Pandushu Vrishnishu, right? So anyone knows what is Kunti Maharani asking here in the prayer? Quickly, if someone can raise their hand and see the definition, what does it mean? Anyone? Anyone wants to try? Yes, correct. So what she's saying is Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi. So it's like that Pasha of Sneha is there, right? I want to cut that. But now Srila Prabhupada he explains here. Actually, there are two levels of explanation that Kunti Maharani is saying here. So Kunti Maharani, she's looking at all the people around her in two levels. One level is at the level of the skin, right? And the second level is in the level of the soul, right? So what she is saying here, that level of skin, that connection that I have, that attachment that I have to Vrishnis, basically her husband side, and from her side, whatever connection she has from based on the body, she wants to cut it, right? She wants to have only connection with everyone based on Krishna, right? If Krishna is in the center, that person is very dear to me. In fact, we have seen, at least in my life, I generally see that even my relatives, right, I'm not very close to them. It feels like you always, if you have a devotee around, right, you will always feel more closer to that devotee compared to even a relative, even a blood relative, if you say, right? So that is the consciousness generally one person should have, that if you have devotees around, you should feel that, oh, I have come to a place where my people are there, right? My people. Okay. And again, the material relationships, right, they are generally egocentric. So if you are pleasing someone's ego, right, that person will please you back, right? So or if someone is pleasing your ego, right, you will naturally have that connection. Oh, that person is nice person. But spiritual relationship, right, that is completely based on Krishna. So wherever Krishna is there, automatically you will have that connection. So loving bond between gopis and gopas with their children is completely, you can see here, right, how beautiful they had this bond with their children. Now especially because Krishna is their child, right? So now 4 5 days are actually left for a year to complete, right? What happens is, uh, one day all these kids, right, they take their all their calves and go to the Talhati, to the foothills of Govardhan, right? At the same time, what happens is the parents, right, they are taking all the cows, right? The elder Gopas, they are taking all the cows and they are actually grazing on top of the Govardhan, right? The cows are all grazing. Now what happens is, the moment the cows see their calves, right, they immediately start running from top of the mountain, and they immediately run so fast, and all the Gopas, they are wondering what is happening, right? Why are they running? And when they see that cows are running, even the Gopas start running behind them, and they come downhill, and they start the cows, right, they start licking their calves, and the cowherd men, right, they start embracing their cowherd boys, right, cowherd sons, and they're like there are tears, right, they're bathing them in their tears, and all this one person is seeing, that is Lord Balram. No, he was wondering, actually, see, this is not possible, right? Because he has seen, he actually goes and asks Krishna that what is going on here, right? I know, means, of course, parent loves their child, but I know all the Brajvasis love you more than their own children, right? And it is not possible that in front of you, in your presence, they are actually embracing their child. Something is wrong here, right? So you tell me what is happening. And that is when actually Lord Krishna he says, actually Balram was missing during that Brahma Vimohana Lila, the original when Brahma had picked up all the covered boys, right? But Lord Balram was missing. And Lord Krishna, he actually tells, so this is what we spoke about last half an hour, 45 minutes, right? Oh, this all happened last 1 year. I'm really sorry, Balram, I didn't tell you, right? But this has all happened. But think about it. Lord Balram, who is Lord Balram? Can anyone tell me who is Lord Balram? First expansion. What is the difference between Lord Balram and Lord Krishna? Color is one, right? And second, yeah, correct. The mood, right? One is supreme personality of servitor godhead, and one is supreme personality of godhead. In power, right? Balram is as same as Krishna, right? There is no difference, right? But even Balram, he could not understand what's happening right now, right? And Krishna, it was actually Lord Krishna's desire that Balram should not know, right? Because he also was having this beautiful exchanges with everyone, right? So he wanted Balram should not know about this. So this shows Lord Krishna's power, right? You have to understand Lord Krishna, Balram being the first expansion, he could not understand what was happening till Krishna's will was there. Now he knows, of course, because Krishna told him. So now what happens? Now this all stories happened, right? In the meanwhile, Brahma, he actually comes back. For him, it is just a moment. He actually came, he took all the covered boys, he went to Brahmaloka and he came back. He knew that this person is not a ordinary person. Okay, who the person who I'm dealing with, right? He's not an ordinary person. He has some power. See, immediately comes one moment. But one moment of Brahma was actually 1 year in earth times, right? And when he comes down, right, he is again bewildered, right? He says that actually I took everyone, right? It means now what I'm seeing, all the kids are there, all the calves are there, and all the kids are doing like playing the same way as I had done it like last time, right? Everything is normal. Now, but this bewilderment, it has a difference, right? The first bewilderment was when he was actually thinking what he was doing was right. But this bewilderment is now he has realized, okay, there is something wrong here. I have not done right. Right? So there is a lesson there for us all to learn here, right? As soon as we are distracted from devotion to Krishna, we are bewildered. Right? But once we get bewildered, right, it might take some time for us to come back to path. Right? Sometimes it happens that everyone else in the like house knows that you are the person who is doing wrong. You are the only one who thinks that I am doing right, right? So that is how it takes time. There are examples also, right? Like for example, Ajamil, right? When Ajamil he fell down, what he did was he basically saw a woman with a drunkard person, right, embracing, and he immediately fell down from his position. But it took for a whole lifetime and a conversation with between Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas to understand, oh, what mistake I did, right? Similarly for Indra also, right? Indra, he was showering rain, right, for 7 days. It took him 7 days and a lot of rain to figure out, no, what I'm doing is wrong, right? So sometimes it takes time, right? And Brahma took this 1 year to actually come to his senses. And more bewildered, he was more bewildered when he saw all these gopas, right, and all these covered calves, right? They actually suddenly took 400 Vishnu Rupa, right? And they were doing the same Leela, okay? They are playing, and when he saw this, he is seeing all 400 Vishnus around Lord Krishna, right? And he got shocked. He said, "What's happening here?" And his bewilderment increased. He is already step by step. His bewilderment is increasing level by level, right? And he understands. Oh, now I understand. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. There is no question. In fact, it is given here. Even Bhishma Dev, right? Bhishma Dev, he says in first canto. What was the shloka? Narayana. No, no, Narayanam Param. I forgot that shloka. So he says, basically talking to Yudhishthir Maharaj. So at the end of Mahabharata, everyone goes, like Krishna says to Yudhishthir Maharaj, you should go and take blessings from Bhishma Dev. Right? And when they come to Bhishma Dev is telling to Yudhishthir Maharaj, see that person who is standing there, Krishna, He is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is the Adi of all the Narayanas also, right? So the same thought process, right, that Bhishma Dev had told, now it is actually dawning on Lord Brahma. That he is figuring out, oh, Krishna is the original source of all the Narayanas, right? So that's why there is one important lesson. We spoke about the sweetness about the Lord, right? We spoke a lot about that. But here is it is important why we should note the majesticity of the Lord, right? Because if we directly jump to the sweetness of the Lord, right, we might actually take Krishna as cheap, right? We think, oh, ऐसा ही तो है, मैं भी तो ऐसा करता हूँ. Nowadays, you see that Bollywood people, they will make songs on that, saying that if he does this thing, if I do this thing, right? If you do not understand the majesticity of the Lord, if you don't understand how great Lord is, all these things will make you think Krishna is not great, he's cheap, right? And Brahma could not understand Krishna as supreme personality of Godhead when he was having food. What was the action that was happening that time? All of them were having food, right? So Brahma could not understand he is the supreme personality of Godhead when all of them were having food with each other. But when he understood that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, when all the covered boys and all the calves, right, they came into that 400 Vishnu Swarupa, right? He understood, oh, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, right? So when okay, oh, so that's why it is important. Most of the time, it is very important to highlight all the conditioned soul that we have to understand the majesticity of the Lord. We should not go directly. So it's a level actually. You should have first reverence, then love, and then intimacy. That's how generally the level goes. So without reverence, if you directly jump to intimacy, right, then we are there is a chance for us to become sahajiyas. The meaning of the word Sajiya is we are taking everything as ordinary, right? We are taking Krishna as a normal person. And Srimad Bhagavatam, right, it explains everything in a beautifully balanced way. It does not go to intimacy directly, right? 10th canto, it does not start with the Lila of Krishna. And even in the Lila of Krishna, right, if you look at the letter that Rukmini Devi has written, you look at the letter that Krishna has written to all the gopis, right, when he sends it with Uddhava at the end. There is no like, oh, I miss you so much, right? We'll meet next time. We'll have Rasalila for one day of Brahma. You don't need to miss me. You don't have to sing Gopi Geet. It's not like that. Krishna talks about philosophy there also, right? He actually explains his position as the supreme personality of Godhead. Even Rukmini Devi, when she writes the letter, right, she straight away starts with that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. You are the supreme personality of Godhead. In fact, that is the Damodar Lila, right? Damodar Lila. What is Damodar Lila about? That basically Yashoda Maya binding Krishna to the grinding motor, right? And this Damodar Ashtakam that is written by Satyavrat Muni. How does it start? Namam Ishwaram Sachidanand Rupam. Namam Ishwaram. He is starting with, oh Ishwara, I'm bowing down before you. Where is Ishwara here? Right? In this whole Leela, Krishna is a small boy and Yashoda Maya is running behind him with a stick and she is binding him to the grinding motor. But Satyavrat Muni, he understands that if I just start with this same thing, right, that Krishna is a small boy and Yashoda Maya is tying him to the grinding motor, we will not understand what his level is. So he starts with that, oh, Krishna is the Ishvara, he is the supreme personality of God and I am going down before you, right? So that is how we have to understand. We should not take the Leelas of Krishna very cheaply. We have to understand the grandeur behind it, the majesty behind Lord Krishna. So we'll end with the last few of these things. We are already 12:30, right? So seeing this, so actually there is a nice this thing. So this chapter, right? This chapter ends with this Leela, right? Well, that Brahma is now repentant. He figured out, oh, Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. So what happens in the next chapter basically is he starts giving like prayers, starts chanting the prayers for Lord Krishna. And with all his four pairs of eyes, he has basically four heads, right? So he has 8 eyes, right? And he's crying profusely. He's crying from all his 8 eyes, and he's crying and he falls down in the feet of Lord Krishna. And he starts praying that I made a big mistake, right? I made a big mistake and please forgive me. So actually, we'll end with one glory of what is the glories of basically Lord Krishna's lotus feet. So the power of Lord Krishna's lotus feet. If you hear of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, what happens? What happens is all our hankerings for the material things, it will be vanquished. Just if you hear about Lord Krishna's lotus feet. Second, what happens if you remember Lord Krishna's lotus feet? If you remember Lord Krishna's lotus feet, it will destroy all our anarthas, right? It will destroy all our vipadas, right? And it will bestow us with the love of God. It will bestow us with love, prema for Lord Krishna. It will bestow us. Now we are going step by step. So first we heard about hearing, now remembering. What happens when we see Lord Krishna's lotus feet? When we see Lord Krishna's lotus feet, all our senses become satisfied. So you generally see, right? If you have something, say for example, a gulab jamun in front of you, when you eat that gulab jamun, only your tongue will be satisfied. It is not that your hand will be satisfied, your eyes will be satisfied, or your leg. But if you actually see Krishna, all your angas will be satisfied. That is the power of seeing Lord Krishna's lotus feet. And finally, what happens when you touch Krishna's lotus feet? When you touch Krishna's lotus feet, all the shortcomings are vanquished and attachment of Krishna increases. So let's end with this. Let's have a desire to take the shelter of Lord Krishna because that is the only, how do you say, only goal for us. And that's the only marg, जैसे बोलते हैं ना, that's the only way. There is no other way to go back home, back to Godhead without Krishna's lotus feet. So thank you everyone. Hare Krishna. I hope today's session was useful. And if you have any questions, you can quickly have for next 5-10 minutes. Okay. So thank you everyone. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu, for this wonderful class. Prabhu, we have heard this multiple times, and we still keep hearing it. So it was very nice. So many points actually, Prabhu mentioned, right? We talked about keeping Krishna in the center. We generally keep ourselves in the center.